Hmm. Teen drama or weird ass sci-fi? Hello. Donnie Darko was directed by Richard Kelly, who's also known by less successful films like Southland Tales and The Box. And some of the big names in this movie are Jake Gyllenhaal, Maggie Gyllenhaal, Drew Barrymore, Patrick Swayze, and that's it. Anyway, the movie stars Jake Gyllenhaal, who plays Donnie Darko, who is one of these really smart kids but also really troubled, and he lives in this small town in 1988, which is when the director was that age, a teenager. Other than Donnie going to therapy sessions, I'd say he's a really regular teenager in 1988. I mean, Donnie has an older sister played by his real life older sister, Maggie Gyllenhaal, known as Rachel from The Dark Knight, and he has a little sister, and both his parents, even though his father is like a I don't give a fuck, and his mother looks like an alcoholic or a drug user, I don't know what. In any case, the story picks up when Donnie is awakened by a giant rabbit. Yes, a giant rabbit wakes up Donnie in the middle of the night and tells him that the world will come to an end in exactly 28 days, 6 hours, 42 minutes, and 12 seconds. After that, Donnie wakes up the next morning, he goes to his house and he realizes a jet engine has fallen in his house, specifically in his room, which would have crushed them and killed them if it weren't for the giant rabbit who woke him up. But this jet engine is special because nobody knows where it came from, its origins, or why it dropped there. Anyway, the giant rabbit, now known as Frank, starts messing up with Donnie's head, and Donnie starts daydreaming really fucked up shit, and he starts his journey to save the world. So Frank starts telling Donnie to vandalize the school, burn houses, and whatever not. And whenever Frank's in the scene, you just pay attention because he's got a really cool costume. So after vandalizing the school, school's cancelled because it's flooded. And Donnie meets this girl, Gretchen, who's played by Gina Malone, who you know from Sucker Punch and Only Sucker Punch. Anyhow, the scene when they first talk is really forced because Gretchen starts telling Donnie about his father being a dick and stabbing her mom, and you just don't tell people the first time you met them that story, but you need to know this information for a later thing on the movie. Speaking of which, another thing that bothers me in this movie is the police investigation. I mean, we know it's a really small town and the police cannot tell who vandalized the school, and the test that they're doing is comparing your blackboard writing to a graffiti writing as they were the same to, use the chalk or a can. What's with the police? In 1988, they already had, fingerprints analysis and all kinds of stuff. But, you kind of understand it's a small town, but even though the police cannot be that incompetent. Moving forward, I think the acting is really good in this movie, especially Jake Gyllenhaal. He really kills it as Donnie. I can't think of a better actor to play Donnie right now or back then. Really, I can't tell. Maggie Gyllenhaal is also really good. She behaves like a real life sister. She is his real life sister. And Donnie's parents, they do a really good job also. Each one portrays the character really well. The one actor I didn't like in this movie was the one who played Donnie's sister's boyfriend, because he was all like, "What are you doing in the middle of the road in the night, huh?" Yeah, I didn't feel really genuine. Other than that, they all do a really good job, especially Jake. Another thing that works really well in the movie is the soundtrack. It's a collection of pop rocky songs all performed by Michael Andrews, except for the last segment of the movie, which is all around me are familiar faces, worn out places, worn out Gears of War. So to wrap it up, the movie then introduces time travel, parallel universes, philosophy, which are kind of complicated subjects, Anyway, without giving
And
too much of a spoiler, the end of the movie, the climax of the movie, are, I believe, open to your own interpretation, even though some people claim to have understood well what happened. Um, that's not my case. I believe you can interpret it as you may like. In short, I think this movie has great acting, it was well directed, it has a great soundtrack, and the plot keeps you interested the whole movie, and it's not one of those movies that you just see once. You have to see it again to see what you missed the first time and see how it works, how you can react knowing what's gonna happen. And I think it's really good. This movie is outstanding. If you're looking for a movie that will keep you entertained and will make you think by the end and talk about it with your friends, this is a perfect movie for you to watch. So I placed a link below for the trailer, and please let me know what you think. Why are you wearing that stupid man suit?